Anyone else remember when Donald Trump said that he has all the best people? Hey Trump, explain this. What's going on?
Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Belinda Strana. Thank you so much for all the love and support. To my returning subscribers, to those people that share my videos, leave commentaries, and also educate each and every one of us, you guys are the real MVP. So lovelies.
I came across this stage on my For You and I thought to share where yet again a MAGA pastor, a very well-known pastor, is actually found guilty of playing around with, you know what we mean, lovelies. The thing is that most of these people are often seen with Orange Man, and people are beginning to ask questions. Questions like, why is it that Orange Man is often seen or surrounded with people like this? And yet, people actually believe that Orange Man is a saint. Lovelies, I'm just going to roll the clip as well as some of other stitches I was able to put together. Please leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video, and please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and information.
Anyone else remember when Donald Trump said that he has all the best people? Hey Trump, explain this. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Santana, and listen, if you don't know who that was, that's Robert Morris, and we have to get into who he is, what he did, and why Trump does not have the best people, or why Trump keeps putting these type of people around him. This guy is this guy. Robert Morris, the founder of the mega church in Texas, Gateway Church, is someone who was just found guilty of sexually abusing a 12-year-old girl in Oklahoma in the 1980s. He's going to spend 10 years in jail and have $250,000 that he has to actually pay, and he has to register as a sex offender. Robert Morris in 2016 was one of Donald Trump's spiritual advisors. Donald Trump actually had a spiritual advisor board, an evangelical board, and guess who was one of the main members of said board? Robert Morris. The fact that Donald Trump keeps putting these people around him. And what do I mean by these people? Sexual abusers. And this is not hyperbole. Literally, Donald Trump keeps surrounding himself with that. Let's go to Exhibit A. When Donald Trump was reelected in 2024, his first pick for Attorney General was Matt Gaetz. So if Trump wanted Gaetz, what happened? The House committee finished their ethics report and found that Matt Gaetz had allegedly paid for sex with minor and used drugs with them. Now we move on to Exhibit B. Exhibit B. Exhibit B. Wait. Exhibit B. Hold on. Exhibit B. Some people may be thinking, Santana, you're reaching. Of course, Diddy was famous. Trump was famous. They were both in New York. They actually took pictures. So what? Big deal. Let's not forget that Trump said this.
Would you ever consider pardoning him?
Well, nobody's asked. You had to be the one to ask here, but nobody's asked. But I know people are thinking about it. I know they're thinking about it. I think some people have been very close to asking.
Donald Trump himself admitted to him being open and people around him considering pardoning Diddy. And for Exhibit C, just release the files. Release the list. Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein. That's all I got. That's all I need. Donald Trump literally said that he was putting the best people around him, yet the people that he continues to surround himself with have been abusers. They have been some of the worst people, but yet Donald Trump has surrounded himself with them. What's the old saying? Birds of a feather flock together. People around him keep finding themselves in legal trouble, and the only thing that I will say is one more time is release the list. Anyway, guys, I love you, and as always, peace.
Thank you, Jesus, for
the man who once led one of the largest congregations in America. Today, walking into an Oklahoma courthouse, pleading guilty to sexually abusing an underage girl.
This has taken my entire lifetime to get here.
That girl was Cindy Clemishire, now 55. Inside the courtroom, delivering a message to her abuser through tears, as Gateway Church founder Robert Morris admitted to 5 felony counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child in the 80s.
People need to know who he is, that he came into our home disguised as a preacher.
The abuse began on Christmas night in 1982, Cindy says, when she was 12 and Morris 21. It continued for years. A secret Cindy kept until 1987, when she told her parents and church leaders, and for the first time last year, shared publicly.
He started by touching my breast and putting his hands.
Decades passed. Morris grew into an evangelical powerhouse, even serving on President Trump's Spiritual Advisory Council, at times alluding to past transgressions in his sermons.
Sexual temptation is an appetite of the flesh, and I developed an appetite before I was saved.
His sins, that NBC News reported on last year, now officially crimes. Morris handed a 10-year sentence, though he will only serve 6 months in a county jail as part of the negotiated plea deal. He will also have to register as a sex offender and pay $250,000 in restitution.
There is hope to come out of shame and to be whole again.
Take a wild guess who this is. That is Donald Trump's former spiritual advisor, Robert Morris, and he just pleaded guilty to SAing a 12-year-old child. He admitted to 5 felony counts of lewd act to a child. His plea deal was only 6 months. He stood on the pulpit preaching while hiding the dark truth. It's just another reminder that power, titles, and status don't equal integrity.
Have you noticed how quiet Donald Trump and his supporters have been about Robert Morris? Robert Morris was Donald Trump's spiritual advisor, who is now going to prison for SAing a young child.
I'm just happy that it is over. I feel good about it. It's behind us. What does this feel like? I don't know that I have to work with that yet.
Goodbye, you filthy, disgusting animal. Yeah, but what makes this matter even worse is what Donald Trump actually said about Robert Morris.
I want to thank Pastors Robert Morris and Steve Dullen. They're great people. Great people with a great reputation, I have to say that. Great reputation.
Now, doesn't that remind you of what he said about Jeffrey Epstein? Huh? The fact that Donald Trump hasn't even uttered a word about this, the fact that his supporters have gone radio silent, speaks volumes to how much they really truly care about getting to the bottom of the Epstein files. They do not care that their dear leader is in the Epstein files. They wouldn't care if their dear leader actually did the same things that Jeffrey Epstein did. But these same people will get all over the internet and rush to defend Donald Trump as if he is some sort of victim, and then they will turn around and attack the victims. It's because of this disgusting, grotesque, evil, vile behavior that I have to do the show that I do Monday through Friday, 6:30 a.m., where I send these MAGA demons straight to hell in the lake of fire. Yeah, they get triggered when I do it, but nuh-uh. How can you be triggered about me sending you disgusting creatures straight to hell, but then you have nothing to say when you see these situations where people in Trump's orbit are actually doing things that go against the scripture, harming innocent women and children? MAGA, this is it. God's truly exposing you so that all of us can see who you truly are. You're not Christians. You're hypocrites. You're worse than the scribes and the Pharisees. And we all see you for what you are. And you will be trotted out in handcuffs just like that. Look at those little disgusting evil hands.
Okay, so this was breaking news like some hours ago as well. Not only the Diddy case and everything that was being exposed with that, but there was judgment that hit the church. One of the nation's largest mega churches, I think it's called Gateway Church in Fort Dallas, Texas. Robert Morris, he is the former spiritual advisor, and the church is mega big, but he pleaded guilty of SA from abusing a 12-year-old girl over 20 years ago. Are y'all understanding what is happening, the shift that is happening in the spirit realm? I want to highlight that on record, the principal has said that he has a great reputation. I'm not laughing. I gotta get together. The principal on record said, "Oh, he has a great reputation, and he's a former spiritual advisor of the principal." I want to put that out there. So what has happened is he resigned last year because a woman came forward from Oklahoma, and the essay happened in the 1980s, y'all. This man is like 64 years old. On Thursday, he pleaded guilty to 5 counts of lewd and indecent acts with a child. I guess it happened during the time that he was like being a traveling evangelist. You know how traveling evangelists, they be going from state to state, and sometimes people allow people to like stay in their homes and stuff like that. This is back in the day though. The traveling evangelists, they used to feed them, let them stay in their homes and just take good care of them when they would run like revivals and stuff. I'm assuming that's this kind of what was happening because it was back in the 1980s. I want to dig up the actual scriptures that is relating to the end times and what we are seeing. And I just think it's such a huge spiritual shift that is taking place. And how ironic that this happened and the same day is Diddy and all of these different things is coming out to the light. If you go read Luke 12:2 through the 3rd chapter, for there is nothing covered that will be revealed, nor hidden that will not be known. Matthew 10:26, for there is nothing covered that will not be revealed, and hidden that will not be known. Ecclesiastics. I'm sorry. Ecclesiastes 12:14. God will deep. Ecclesiastics. That's funny. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Now this is going for everything. I'm even talking about the governmentals. Stuff has to be exposed. And we know this because as we get closer to the coming of Christ, God's word has to be fulfilled. We already seen where Hamas is coming into agreement with this whole peace agreement that they're doing with the Abrahamic Accords and all this other stuff. Now we are seeing people who have done things for many years, accusations. These things are coming to a close. God is exposing it all. Child, 20 years ago. So not only we looking in other communities, but every community is getting it. Every community is getting exposed. This man said over 20 years ago, he's 60-something years old. This happened when this woman was 12. This is very interesting. Meanwhile, I hope y'all sense there is a shift. There is a shift. There is a shift that is happening. There's a shift that is taking place in the spirit realm. And I believe that God is moving pieces around to fulfill and complete his word in this hour. His word has to be completed. Everything that God has spoken for these times has to be revealed. It has to happen. Things have to be revealed. I believe that this is just the start. I said some time ago that judgment was getting ready to hit the church. Wow, child. What's his name? Morris. Robert Morrison. He has a great reputation. Per y'all principle. That's the video.
One thing I will never ever be surprised with is someone running a mega church. So they said Robert Morris, who is an American pastor, was sentenced to 10 years. But the 10 years he got wasn't actually, it's a 10-year suspended sentence. He's only serving 6 months in prison. The rest, and I think they even said that was a suspended sentence, but they said basically he served 6 months in prison and the rest he'll be basically at home for 9 years and 6 months. Then they said, oh, he's got to register as a sex offender. When has that ever stopped people still preaching in the church? They should have stopped him being the pastor in general, but I feel like his congregation will follow him anyway. I'm not really surprised, but I feel like not all, but it seems like there always is like a high number of, of people that are running churches that like to touch kids and like to sexually assault kids, and it's actually so disgusting as well. And what even makes me even more sick is like the people that stand by him and try to then call a child fast, put all the blame on the child, or say that he had a lapse in judgment when this man, they said that he's been doing it since 1980s. And obviously it's only just been uncovered now in regards to like the trials happened and he's been sentenced, but fucking hell.
So when I saw this stage, there is something that actually run through my mind. Growing up, I have actually talked about my father here. Like oftentimes, I'm someone that grew up, having my grandparents around me, and because of that, and because of the historical whatsoever that they have on me, I grew so interested in knowing history. So that's why sometimes I do what I do right about here. Some people are like, oh, you should talk about this, but I'm actually doing what I enjoy doing, because me doing this, it's not only I am getting myself educated, it's also a paved way for me to learn and unlearn so many things and so many misunderstandings. So back to today's stage. My grandparents used to tell me that your friends define the kind of person you are. Your friends, show me your friends, and I will tell you who you are. When he makes such statements, he often tells us that we should know the kind of company that we keep, because the kind of company we keep defines the person that we are. If we keep good companies, we are good people. If we keep bad companies, we are bad company. We are going to be a bad person. And now, my grandparents, sometimes when we are growing up, some of my brothers, cousins, and all of that, anytime he sees you with a particular kind of clique of friend, he was like, come. Something that an old or an elderly person sits down to see. If a young person climbs the highest of the stairs, this young person will not be able to see what an elderly person sat on the floor to see. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is that Orange Man, oftentimes people have been, there are so many things coming up with this Epstein list stuff, the way at which his name is being mentioned in the email that was released, everything that has to do with Orange Man and his friends and cliques of friends are just, this actually also reminds me of the time of Project 2024, right? And one of his friends, who probably was one of the co-founder of this Project 2024, wrote the project, and Orange Man, on the other hand, was like, oh, he don't even know his friend. He don't know the man. He denied the man. He said he don't even know what people meant by the project Project 2024, projects whatsoever. That book that was all over the social platform, I think sometime last year, Orange Man was like, oh my God, we don't know this person. Well, I don't know what he's talking about. But right about now, what is happening, most of the things in that project, it's happening already. And now with this Jeffrey Epstein, the way at which Orange Man here and there, and then again, he's still like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. And now this special advisor, if a personal or special advisor can get himself involved with this kind of shenanigans, what do you think that the person receiving the said advice from his special advice, what kind of advice do you possibly think that this man of God, is this even a man of God? What kind of advice do you possibly think that this man will be giving to Orange Man if him himself is guilty of something like this? This is something so many people really need to think of. This is something many people need to think of. But then again, this is politics. This is life. This is the world we are in. Nobody is guilty until when the person, or until there is an evidence to show that this person is guilty. But then again, when you have cliques of friends that has a questionable character. One or two things are involved. It's either you are an enabler, somebody who enables, an enabler, or someone that is involved. That is just it. Anyway, lovely. So just leave me your own thoughts in the comment section of what you think of this video. And please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We are just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that. Like, and I will see you lovelies when I upload the next.
Anyway, lovely, so now just leave me your own thought in the comment section of what you think of this video. Please do not forget that we do not support any form of bullying and harassment. We're just here for educational and informative purposes. So please share this video, subscribe to this channel if you're here to do that, and also support my other channel, Verse. And I will see you lovelies when I upload the next one.